Thank you for holding your call very important. The first available KIE representative will be with you shortly. This morning, effective February 1st, 1978, all arts and industrial electromechanics operations will cease. Please contact your assigned account representative for account transfers or contract settlements.
KIE representative will be with you shortly.
Effective January 1st, 1978. All clocks and industrial electromechanics operations will cease. Please contact your assigned account representative for account transfers or contract settlements.
I don't know what I'm doing. I do not know. Why am I doing this? Well, have to do it anyway. Why am I broadcasting it? I don't know. Good life choices aren't a thing I am doing recent. Brain, catch up, catch up. Basically, I'm not making good life choices these past few days, and I'm just gonna roll with it. That's why. I believe the professional answer is why, because fuck you, that's why. So, I think it's time we get started. Because I have no idea how to start this off. I don't know what to do. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm doing it. I just know that it's gonna happen. Now I'm just putting up a chat window so I can see while I work. Hopefully I pay attention to it if I get really hyper-focused. Okay. And cut. Turn that down a bit. Yeah. This is what I've got. Let me get you on the let me get you the skinny, the lowdown on what's happening here. I have one absolutely ridiculous cobble job of a shader effect. And I'm using a plugin called Shader Filter Plus. Now, Shader Filter Plus plugs into OBS, and instead of having your shader directly, like, compiling your shader in C, and then having the shader as a plugin, this plugin will let you write shaders in GLSL or HLSL. I can never remember which. They're almost identical, so I'm not really concerned. And if I find out I'm using the wrong one, I'll just go change the lines that need to be edited for it. So you write them in HLSL or GLSL, which is just plain text, like this here. And then you can just feed them into the shader plugin, and you get functionally equivalent, something that's functionally equivalent to if you had compiled the shader and then plugged it into OBS the way OBS wants you to do it. But I don't like doing that, and I never want to do it, and I have no intention or desire to do it, and I never have done it. I've seen what the steps are to do it, and I'd rather die. I'm that lazy. So this thing, what this shader is actually doing is, and there's a reason I use Shader Filter Plus for this, because it's the only shader I could find that was supported in this version of OBS here, this one. Oh, I'm breaking someone's immersion, and I don't care. But you'll see that, this Shader Filter Plus lets you take an audio source and use it accordingly. Use it for however you wish. In the case of the developer, they wanted you to use it to put, like, cool bar graphs or an oscilloscope. I'm using it to cause a distortion effect similar to VHS. Like if you had a VHS in really bad shape. I've basically grabbed some of the snippets of code from that and cobbled them together with a bit of glue and some of my own to make the effect basically activate when, at a certain point in time when drawing on the screen, audio amplitude on the main audio channel for OBS comes in. So if it's really, really loud, it shifts really hard to the left or to the right, depending on the waveform that went in at that time. And then it also plays with the alpha channel a little bit, so some parts get darker and some parts get lighter. And then the shader has some ability to exaggerate, and that's what you see on my face. The problem is, and this is what happened yesterday, excuse me, the vents are really The vents are letting in a lot of cold air now. Just a minute. It was starting to hurt my legs from the cold air falling to the ground. Anyway, what was I on about? So what happened yesterday was that was the first time ever I've done more than 4 hours simultaneously. And what I found was by hour 5, the shader had deteriorated. And if you are coming in new here, and you look at previous videos that I have stored on Twitch at the moment, you'll find as time goes on, this effect gets progressively worse. Actually, I don't need this on here anymore. You'll find that the effect starts to get chunky, and instead of turning into little hard spikes of pixel shifting to the left and to the right, and like transparency / darkening, it instead turns into a wave, and I don't quite understand why, but if I keep going beyond that, Twitch will just completely deadlock. It won't crash, it'll just completely deadlock. Nothing gets computed. Nothing. Like, no data goes up to the RTMP server to give you guys a video feed on Twitch. None of the audio that should be playing that's being relayed to me to hear gets played. The user interface doesn't draw. It just hard deadlocks if I keep going. So that's where it is right now. So I have to figure out a way. I'm going to adjust the microphone so it's a little closer to me. Like that. I think that'll do. Yeah. So this is the cobble job. So the first thing is, I haven't touched this since I first made it run the way I wished to. But I'll actually show you on the shader side how I'm doing this. So this shader is called in multiple places. So if I go here, the filters, you're going to see this shader filter plus here, and I have this audio interference effect that I wrote, and that is this here. Oh. More. If we look at the top, I have some options here to play with it a little bit. I can amplify or exaggerate the... Oh, I don't need that. Better close that, actually. There. I can amplify or exaggerate the shift left and right. And I can also adjust what part of the waveform I'm looking at. So if I know that there's a lot of the effect I want, it looks best partway down this whole audio sample it grabbed when I did this work, I can kind of play with that here. So I can either shuffle it closer to the top, or like stretch out what's happening at the top all the way down, or I can put this lower and shuffle more of the interference up to the top. So if we look at this compared to my face, we look at the filters. Nope, not there. Here. Yes. So you see here, I played with the divider a lot. So what should be looking here at the top, this light little shuffling, since I put the divider to 15, that whole thing has been stretched out across the entire picture of my face. And since, if you see it zoomed in, it looks really, really hectic, like really bad. But when you zoom it out and shrink it down, it doesn't look nearly as bad. That's what I did there. So I'm basically using the shader everywhere. So at any point, one of these could crash out OBS when it deteriorates. So that's what I have to work on here today. So basically, you're getting to see how the sausage is made a little bit. Why am I doing this? I don't know. Should I be doing it? Probably not. Do I care? No. I don't. I do not care. Right. Oh, so one of the other advantages to using this plugin is the workflow if you wanted to make this plugin in OBS, the way OBS wants you to do it, is you'd have to write it in C, then you put it in, you have to get a copy of the OBS source code, you have to put the plugin in a proper folder, in the source code folder for OBS, then you have to compile OBS with a special flag to say not to compile OBS, but to just compile the plugin that you place in the plugins folder. Then once you've compiled it, then you put it into your OBS, then you restart OBS and then you test it. And if it works, then great. If it doesn't, then you have to start the whole process over again. Troubleshooting, and that's hell. That's absolute garbage. It should not be that way, in my opinion. So what I've done, so that's why I want to use these instead. So if I need to, this is a copy of the audio interference shader you saw. This is a new copy. What I wish to do is, I'm just looking at this, and I know there's not a lot in here, but I'm seriously debating if I should just redo it. Because there's some random, like there's a random number generator in here. I don't think I need that. And I can't remember why the random number generator is in here. Or it's basically functioning as a random number generator. Because when I hear called for random, it called this function random, but in this random is just a function for hash 12, and hash 12 is its own function, which does this. And I don't think I actually need that. I think this is a bit of, I wouldn't say it's vestigial, but because I cobbled this from another open sourced effect, and then added my own stuff in here to make that run, I'm inclined to rebuild it. And I think I just might do that. So I did make one change, which was this shader plugin I have, like I said, gives you access to audio information. You can specify a sample of the audio at that millisecond, or rather it's as a texture, but basically what this is going to do is it gives you a quick little, how do I explain this? So FFT is a shortened version of Fast Fourier transform, which basically lets you take a collection of information and display it in a chart with prevalence. So, if I'm explaining it right. So what this is doing is, at the moment I'm drawing a frame, I can grab a quick sample of a chart. Have you ever seen, actually it might be easier if I explain this another way. Have you ever seen those really cool spectrum analyzer effects where it's got all the bars and they sometimes are really high or really low and they kind of swoop around? Or somebody's got, like, you'll see them a lot for people who make music. They'll take a sphere with their profile on it, and when you talk, it shoots little solar flares out from around the sides of it, from around the perimeter of it. They're using this, or a data structure similar to this, to to do it. And what that's doing is it's a chart from left to right showing you lowest to highest frequencies of the audio at that exact moment in time. So how I'm using it is to distort a picture by giving it by playing with its opacity and shuffling pixels left and right. But that's not what it's built for. This one lets you grab previous samples. So if I wanted to have this weird fading and delay effect, I can grab the texture, I can grab that chart, that fast Fourier transform output from the previous frame. I wasn't actually using that at all. So I've commented it out, but I don't actually think it's improving anything. So I guess if we go to Scratch, actually, do I want to do that? Let's check what's in Scratch. Nothing's in Scratch. Oh god, that just went freakishly quiet. I'm sorry. So put my face up. Why not? So this is a copy of the shader running right now. Actually, it's the same shader I was running earlier. Doesn't seem to be distorting much right now. But honestly, not enough time has elapsed to see the effect specifically. In hindsight, I should have waited. I should have let OBS run for an hour or so before I started the broadcast, but oh well. So I've spent a lot of time explaining this, but I think it's more important that we just kind of get started. We've assessed the situation. What is it that we're attempting to do? What I'm also going to do just for now is I'm going to take... Nope, not that one. I'm going to take the distortion filter off. There. So what I don't want is to experiment with the filter and then accidentally, break the video feed. Because if you really screw up a shader, you could get anything back. You could get just messed up colors. You could get flashing lights. Or if you've completely fucked it up and it can't execute properly, depending on how the shader plugin is written, it'll either take down OBS, or it'll not draw at all, or it'll give you a test picture. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to completely remove the shader from here so there's no distortion or interference anymore, and we'll play with my face. So you saw that my face had the shader as well. So it's not too terribly complicated to make a shader. You can make some really advanced ones. But all of them basically need the same thing, and this is partially defined by the shader plugin you use, or whatever product uses a shader. They'll tell you what it is you need to do, or what you need to give the program back from your shader to actually do the work. So the creator of Shader Filter Plus says the function to actually do the weird messing up of pixels that you wish to do needs to be in a function called called render. And render will spit out a 4-dimensional vector, which sounds complicated, but basically they're using a vector which should be used for, in math or physics. It's used to define a trajectory or a current location. Well, in computing, all that is it's just a variable that has 4 numbers in it. And that's really all it is. It's just a way to conveniently package 4 numbers. Nothing fancy or sciencey about it. So what he's saying is the program needs back a 4-dimensional vector because it's an easy, convenient way to package red, green, blue, and transparency. Sometimes I've seen a 4-dimensional array. I've sometimes seen a guy maybe just do 4 variables of red, green, blue, and transparent and just pass them all out. Which is, yeah, people don't like it when that happens. So basically what this will also need is a 2-dimensional vector, which again, it's not referring to a trajectory or a current, or coordinates or anything. It's just a convenient way to store 2 numbers. And the 2 numbers, and this is also kind of silly, they want you to pass it in as UV, and UV is mentioned everywhere, but basically that's just the X and Y coordinate of a particular pixel on the screen. So this will pass out red, green, blue, and transparency for a particular X and Y coordinate that you feed in, and then all of this just distorts that to get what you see here with the face down here. So how would if I was to redo this, how would I do it? Well, first off, I know these will never change. I would basically be doing these the exact same way. I need a way to define the Y resolution, and I need a way to do division, like to amplify or reduce the effect on any particular video source I need. So that has to be there. Oh. HLSL. Actually, I better double check the documentation. We'll get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that, and 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 that. Okay. The person who wrote this also gave some examples. Let's see. We have an example here. A really complicated one. Let's see. Does he say if it's... Okay, it's HLSL. When OBS is found with OpenGL, the primitive translation of HLSL to GLSL. However, this translation is limited. OBS on Windows may be forced to use OpenGL. So... and therefore may not result in correct behavior. Cross-platform shaders could be written in HLSL so long as they are simple. Okay, so this is actually then GLSL. Do I have to go get a plugin for this? Let's get a plugin. GLSL. But current workspace not trusted. What do you mean it's not trusted? Manage trust. There we go. So now I can change this to GLSL. There we go. Wrong parameters when starting validator. This is also GLSL. There's a lot of GLSL in here. So we don't need this. Syntax highlighting for you. Here it provides linting. But I don't think... What the hell does linting mean? Linting, a process by a linter. Linting is a process by a linter program that analyzes source code in a particular programming language to flag potential problem. Oh. So it's doing some additional checking, which I don't really care about. But it is doing the syntax highlighting for me, which is nice. I don't really care if it's going to lint, because there's probably not enough in here to lint with anyway. Okay. So texture to built-in texture FFT audio. Right, and it has to be done this way, I believe. If we look at here. Every shader has access to the following variables. Elapsed time previous. Since shown, enabled, built-in UV size. Texture sampler with linear filtering. Okay, on request. Audio output frequency spectrum. That's what I was trying to describe. When you get a frequency spectrum, what it's actually doing is a fast Fourier transform and charting it out for you. So it has to be done this way in order to be... Yeah, okay. Name to be defined. Okay, so you have to explicitly ask for it like this in order to get it. FT audio. And I called it audio, so that'll work. Okay, so that's the first step. Float for render, float to UV. So this is the drawing function. Float for render, float to UV. Okay, I don't get this. What is this trying to do? When starting GLSing? Like, if it's going to be this much of a pain in the ass every time I save, then I might just grab another one. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I don't need the linting. There. Strange it doesn't highlight it, but whatever. Whatever, we'll roll with it. Fight with this microphone a bit. How about this? That better? That sound good to people? It's not too terribly close to my face, but it is out of the way so I don't keep smacking it every time I try and type. Let's see. What I want is... Okay, well, let's start with something simple. Actually, they had an example here. We pull up the examples. There's one just called lit. Oh, and these are written in HLSL. Well, if they said to use GLSL, so I did write it in HLSL. GLSL and HLSL are almost identical. Like, there are some functional differences, but they're not too terribly bad. So GLSL is for OpenGL, HLSL is for DirectX, and I don't know what Vulkan uses. Unlike earlier API shader code in Vulkan has to be specified in bytecode as opposed to human readable. So Vulkan doesn't use either. Get some more liquid. Okay. So let's go. What am I actually doing here? So let's check one of the examples. So they're returning a... Okay, so in all of these, they're just returning a four-dimensional vector, and each part of the vector is red, green, blue, and alpha. Is there another example we can look at? Oh, return image.sample, built-in texture sampler UV. Okay, so if I do this, what I should get back is exactly what came in. So image.sample, built-in texture sampler. Okay. So if I'm understanding this, there's an object in here called image. Yes, uniform texture 2D. So they gave us a variable called image, and it says here it is the source texture, the thing you're filtering. So it has a built-in function called sample. Built-in texture sampler. A texture sampler with linear filtering. Sampler state. Okay, so they're calling image.sample. And what does this actually take, though? I don't quite understand. But it looks like this is just grabbing the pixel at that location and giving it back. So if I just ran this right now, as is, and I applied this to my face, I should have no effect at all. Nope, not there. This one. So it's this here. So if I go browse, shaders, it's under VS Code, rebuild, and I go reload. So now you see nothing has happened. Nothing is happening at all. It is functionally equivalent to it not being on or off. Huh. My chat server hiccuped. You see, on and off, doesn't do anything. So the shader I just wrote works. It's being read in and it's doing the work it needs to do. That's good. That's good. Great, now all of my flaws in my model you can see clear as day now that I don't have effects to cover them up. This is built with 8 pieces. You can tell. You can tell. So, now that we know that's there, we'll just comment it out. Here's the other neat part with this plugin. I can modify this as we go, and I can just hit reload shader. So I can just hit save, hit reload, it rereads the text, and then just runs the shader. So I don't need to recompile, restart OBS, put the plugin in, pray to God the plugin works, all that shit. I don't need to do that with this, which is a very nice thing to have. Okay, so what did I do here? So I made a float for the Y resolution. Right, that's the other one. So these shaders don't work in pixels per se. Like the UV works, I think in... No, it doesn't. It also works in floats. Instead of operating in pixels, it operates with a float, like a floating point value, and 1 means the corner of the screen on the right side. So 0, 0 is up here. 1, 1 is all the way down here in the corner. So for some reason, I dug this out, and I don't know why. What I do need, though, is an appropriate distortion. So let's make that. Back 4. I wonder if I was just doing some, like... Man. I've got a stinking hunch I was flipping between both languages and I got away with it. Yes, that's what I was... That's, I think, what I was doing with Vec 4. Yeah, that is exactly what I was doing, which explains why this has been such a headache. Why this doesn't make any sense to me. Okay. So there's one big glaring problem with my shader. I was blindly flip-flopping between GLSL and HLSL. So Vec 4 is GLSL, but if you want to do this in HLSL, it's a float 4, not a Vec 4. And in here, I have Vec 4 and float 4, but the documentation says that when you do that, when OBS is run with OpenGL, it performs a primitive translation of HLSL to GLSL. However, this translation is limited. So I should focus on doing this as GLSL. So that's... I got away with doing them in both because half of it was in HLSL, which would have got translated to GLSL anyway, and the other half was GLSL. So it worked even though it technically shouldn't have even run at all. So I'm going to do that here. I'm going to change this to GLSL. And this becomes Vec 4. And this becomes Vec 2. Okay. So I had a vector 4 for V4 transform. And in it, I don't think I had anything. Let's see. Or it was distort. I called it v4 distort. v4 distort. So it was texture, built-in texture, FFT audio. Back to... Oh, that's wrapping around. Okay. Or no, it's not. Texture, built-in texture, FFT audio. What does this actually say about it? Frame rate. 2D texture. So it's a 2D value. Let's see, texture 2D. Texture sample, okay. We'll pull that over. For now, at least. Texture, built-in sample, effect 2, UVY, divider. Actually, I don't think I want to do that. What I want to do is I think I want to get a better understanding as to what I was trying to accomplish here before I just blindly copy-paste. Float scan y equals round UVY times fres y. Float r random vec2 scan y. v4 feed equals texture image vec2. What were ifx1 and ifx2? Okay, v4 distort, v4 distort. v4 distort xyz. So what was I doing with x, y, and z here? So it's weird because I called it here and I filled in all four, but I filled in all four entries of it here. Two of them went into the first and second position. This is a 2D vector. That's what we saw in the documentation. And then this is another two-dimensional vector, and that got stuffed into all four. So then why did I overwrite it here? That doesn't make any sense. So v4 distort. And then I said the X, Y, and Z, which are the first three slots in here, are the X position, the Y got the X position, and the Z got the X position. And then I divided by 8. Why, though? v4 feed is what? B4 feed equals texture. And the first is image, and image is a 2D vector. And then another vec2, which is UVX, UVY. Okay, so let's do this. So that's got nothing in it. Vec4. V4 feed. And that, let's only put in UV. So UV is the X and Y location. I'm curious. If I do this, return V4 feed, what's it gonna do? Compiler error. Expression type incompatible with the function return. But actually, what was I supposed to give back? I'm supposed to return back a 4-dimensional vector, so why is it complaining? Vec4 rendered. Let me see if there's some other examples here. These are all HLSL. Is there any in the pull requests? Adding more shaders, here we are. Examples. So this one is GLSL. Okay, so this is a GLSL example that somebody submitted to be included, but the owner never accepted. And these are written in GLSL, so let's see what's different. It's weird because they say float, but they're using HLSL in it. So it says GLSL, but it's got HLSL in it. Load for coal. Unless the guy's not actually following either and I just have to kludge it. Wait, that doesn't work. I just stuffed a 2D vector in there. B4 feed. Texture image. That's it. That should do. Line sensei. Syntax error, unexpected comma, expecting colon. Oh, I'm doing this wrong. B4 feed equals texture. There we go. So I was actually supposed to define it here. I also did that wrong. It's not a function. All right. See, v4 frag color equals v4 feed. v4 feed, texture, image, x and y. One. This should be 1. This is 2, 3, and this is the 4th? That doesn't make any sense. Let me think here. So I'm taking... I know this part. I'm actually subtracting the red, green, and blue information from here before I send it back, and that's what made portions of the image darker when the distortion was heavier. That part I know, but like, why did I do it this way? Maybe I should do it this way. It's a little bit easier to reference. There. It was looking a little funky. Don't need this up. Image.sample built into... So why did I need... So I returned a vector 4 here. That means image.sample must... This must return a vector 4. That must be what that is. Aha! So now I accidentally made my face blank. Who caught why? So the reason it was working for so long earlier was when reading in the effect fails, it doesn't override what you had before. It just lets you keep running with it. It'll only change it when what you've typed is valid. I accidentally put 2 brackets in here, which meant that I was either supposed to pack in data or it thought it was a function, I guess. So now what I've done is when it goes to draw, it makes a variable called v4 feed that's blank and then sends that in to be drawn instead. So I basically told it to to send, when it gets data of any kind, to just send back nothing. So that's a thing. So that means I'm getting there. So let's try this. Control S. Let's load it again. And there we go. So that gave all the visual information that's needed. So I had it right, I just goofed up the brackets here. Means we'll also need vector 4 distort. I'll also do this, because defining it twice like that doesn't make any sense to me. So now if I reload, yep, my face is still there. So that's good. We're laying the groundwork. We need one vector for distortion, and then one 4D vector for like the actual information for that point in time on that point of the screen. Or like that X and Y coordinate and all of its color information. Alright. So I'll always send out v4 feed. Do I want to do that? Yes, because I applied distortion to the feed. In here, I applied... No, I didn't. Oh, I did something dumb. I just made another variable, put the feed in there, then distorted that, then sent that out instead of just distorting the feed. So that's a lot of unnecessary work, because as far as I understand, it will throw, like, any data that's left over when you hit return just gets thrown out. So I don't need that. So next is the distortion. Let's dump this in. Equals. Oh, forgot brackets there. So now, what's it gonna do? So it didn't blow up. Actually, no, I don't know if I wanted... Why am I being all waffly? Did any of you catch that? Any of you catch it getting all jittery like that on a stream? Holy jeez. Spooked me for a minute. Alright. I don't think I actually wanted to do this, because I didn't fully understand it, and that was basically the point of this exercise, is to have a thorough understanding on what it is I'm trying to do. Texture, built-in texture. So it's a V4, and this V4 is built out of an X and Y coordinate. Oh, okay. Texture is probably... Ah, yeah, here we are. Texture type. Containing a texture. Texture 1D, texture... Does it come out as 4 dimensions, though? That's what I want to know. The texture 2D or 4D? Texture 1D, 1D array, 2D, 2D array, 3D cube. The element must fit into 4 32-bit quantities. Okay, so it is... So this is a Vec4 then, or can be stuffed into a Vec4, which means that this is the audio information and the X and Y coordinate for that part. So we'll go texture. Built-in texture FFT audio and UV. That shouldn't blow up. Okay, it doesn't blow up. So now let's try something weird. So let's do this. V4 feed. Yeah. Minus equal. So minus equals is like a little programmer shortcut to say, to subtract from what's already there. So saying V4 feed minus equals V4 distort is functionally equivalent to saying V4 feed equals V4 feed minus V4 distort. So that's all that means. It's just a shorthand way of doing it. If I do this, how messed up does my face get? It just blew up. Okay, so let's try what happens with plus equals. Nothing, it just blew up. What happens if we go equals? Oh wait, so that's plus. I forgot to hit save. Oh, so you see a bar on the side? It's all red? Cool, hey? So that is... Huh. So now I have a red bar on the side. And that's happening... Yeah. Neat. So now it's blue. Anyway. I actually have more shaders. You're gonna see I had more shaders running in here. I have one to invert the color. One to chroma key, one to invert the color. That's what it looks like without the shader. And then the one for audio distortion, which seems to be doing a bit... Oh, that's why. Okay. It's messing with alpha channel a bit. Oh well, it doesn't matter. With how I do this, it doesn't really matter. So that added distortion over top. And you're gonna notice it's horizontal as well. Which isn't what I want. I want it vertical. But we know that works, and we know we're distorting properly. So we're just gonna comment that out. Throw it away. UVY over divider. So divider... You're gonna notice here, this says UV. And here I have UV.x and UV.y. So this is UV basically means which pixel you're talking about at that point in time. And I mentioned before, it's like 0, 0's in the top corner. 1, 1 is in the opposite bottom corner. Because it's 2 dimensions, I can go uv.x and uv.y to specify which part of it I'm talking about if I need to. Which I think is what I'm doing here. Oh yes, vec2. If I do this, there should be functionally identical. Nope. Oh, I forgot the comma. There we go, so now it's functionally equivalent again. If I put this back, I hit save. Yeah, it's still functionally equivalent, still a red bar. And here, I think I put divided by divider. So now, if I hit reload... Oh, I blew it up. Oh no. Let's see if adjusting these values does anything. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Oh, so it's stretching my whole face. Oh, goody. Which isn't what I want. Oh, because that's in the feed. I didn't want that in the feed. I was messing with the video feed instead of the distorter. UV. Reload. Put that back to 15. There we go, that's better. So this gets replaced. So now that's the distortion. We're gonna reload the shader. So now you're gonna see look at all these bars. Neat, hey? That's on X. Did I have it on X? No, that was on Y. So this was Y, this was X. Now how's it looking? Hey, now I have the bars on the top. Isn't that neat? So this is partially it. Kinda neat. The red's a little rough, though. Okay. So it's adding to. Then I see here, V4 distort XYZ. So this is starting to make a bit more sense. Because I bet you, if I do this as well, V4 distort XYZ, Vec3, V4 distort dot X. Does that trick work? No, it doesn't work. Thought that was a trick you could do. So if you notice, the bars are red, which means that in this texture, it looks like the only visual information is in the X is the X value for colors. So if I do this, that should turn them white. And that's exactly what it did. So now they're grayscale. Or now they're shades of gray. So that's why I did this kludge here. Then divided it by 8. I don't understand why I divided by 8. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, it's kind of... I don't know. I don't know if I need that. Alright. Reload the shader. If I do this, kind of looks a little interesting. That's a neat effect, but that's not what I'm looking for. The other one was the Y resolution. So I have the divider, and then the Y res, I think that means Y resolution. So I think I had it set so I could stretch out. Let's put this to 1. So basically all of the points that are tracked in the spectrum get a line. They basically get a pixel. And then I use the divider, that stretched it out. So now for every one spot on the spectrum it's looking at, it's taking up 15 pixels. And then I think I used Y-res to squish them back together. And then you can I think you can kind of use that to play with it. I think? I can't remember what it was I was doing. Like I said, I'm basically having to rebuild this because I can't remember what it is I did, and I know it wasn't a very good job. So then, before distort, I'm going to actually put it back here so it's in shades of gray, so it's a little easier to see. So I'm doing the shader to give me scan lines on the face, which is this one, which isn't the one we're working on. This is a completely different one. And then after that image is being made, I'm running it through another shader, which is putting colors other than blue. I could kind of mask it by changing the order, but that's not what we're here to do. You're seeing how the sausage is made, friends. Looking nice be damned. It didn't really look nice when it... Well, frankly, it didn't look nice when OBS crashed, so whatever. We'll just roll with it. Ah, the cat's stuck again. Come on, cat clock. Okay. Let's see. That's the distortion. Now what? Let's see. So how was I shuffling? How was I shuffling pixels left and right? B4 distort dot x times 125 for some reason over the built-in UV size x times r. Well, what's r? Oh, so r was a random value. If y resolution does not equal 0, f res y equals y res. If random is larger than 0.995, are multiplied by 3. Okay. Float scan y equals round UVY times frizz. I don't know why I did... I don't quite wrap my head around this. Why... Like, I know what it's doing, I just don't know why it's being done. Built-in elapsed time. So, built-in elapsed time isn't relevant here. That might be part of what I cannibalized and cludged together. See. I know this part here, so let's focus on these. These are both X values. So why did that need to be done? uv.x plus equals... So I assume IF meant interference? Now let's try this. uv.x Why was I altering uv.x directly? Let's give it a try. Let's go uv.x. uv.x plus equals before distort.x. Let's see what that does. Nothing. Well, I guess it was kind of a moot point because I altered uv.x after I already used it up here. So that doesn't really do much. Okay. So that's why the feed was defined after. That's why it's captured so late. So now look at that. Look at that. So now we have shuffling to the left and to the right. Well, a little bit. It seems to only be pulling to the left. Now, how do we get it to pull to the right? Is it actually necessary to pull to the right? Cool, huh? You can see my face. You can see the piano in my eyes. Sorry, I'm just Keeping quiet because the effects is neat with the music. Sorry, I just thought that was neat. So now we've got the rough idea down, but now when things get really loud, it gets obscenely distorted, and it's still done in chunks of 15-ish pixels across the screen. So we're getting there. We're working at getting it rebuilt. But I also want it to be the opposite. I want the picture to get darker in high intensity places, not get whiter, like not turn to white. And I also want anything that was there to be darkened. So I think I know how to do that. So here we're just doing a blind. Well, we're doing two things now, so let's see if I can figure this out. I'm going to document this for myself in the future. Grab the audio spectrum at this very moment. Total amount is lessened with the divider of the spectrum. Okay, V4 distort. Spectrum information is only red. Copy the value to G and B. Did I do it? 1, 2, 3. So I did it 3 times. It's not getting worse over time, so that's good. Okay, so then v4 distort.x full to the left, proportional couple pixels to the left. Amount couple pixels to the left, the same amount the spectrum is high at that moment in time. Grab the pixel from the video feed. Let's see, apply. How do I want to describe this? Because I'm doing two things. The first one is, when the spectrum is high in that spot, I'm shuffling pixels to the left at that point. And you can kind of see it because the light gray bars are also where the image is being shuffled to the left. So I've described that, but at the same time, the V4 distort is supposed to, well, in this case, it's making it brighter, but what it's supposed to do is make that place darker, but I just haven't done that part yet. Wait a minute. I just realized something. I want to try it out here. Apply the color distortion to the video feed. Okay. So if I went minus equals, you see here the screen is black. Because if in this shader, this one here, there's a bit of a kludge I'm doing in it. I wouldn't say it's a shortcoming, it's just a kludge and it does what I need to. But you're gonna see when I chroma keyed out my face, what it does is it leaves all areas that aren't green. It leaves them transparent. It doesn't leave them black. But this shader for the scan lines does turn it black. It's just not noticeable because the background I'm using is completely black. There's no special texture to it. This shader works, well, shaders work in 4 colors. Red, green, blue, and, well, alpha's not a color, but alpha is transparency. If I did when I did a plus, you see it's starting to turn the bars white, but if I did minus, it should have turned them darker. But if we look here, and I do a save, this is the transparent, like this is the actual background for this sample window. So what I'm curious is, does this image turn this color, or does it turn black? It turns completely transparent. Which means I can do this. I think V4 distort .x XYZ I should be able to do this. No, that didn't work. Oh, Vec4. There we go. So now, parts of my face should be darkening, not getting brighter. This is turning out better than I thought. But you are starting to see how the sausage is made a little bit. Oh, hang on, I just got a quick message I gotta handle. There we go. That's looking good. So if we drop this down to 1... Well, doesn't that look sharp? Like, I could get away with this right now. I really could. But the problem is... Actually, if you look here, you see these little spikes in the side? That's the spectrum. That's the audio spectrum for the music that's playing right now. You can see the little piano. So there is a little bit of a drawback to this. Because again, it's always pulling to the left. It doesn't pull to the right. Which might be what this code was for. This extra stuff. Was a way to basically shuffle... Like maybe shuffle it to the left or to the right? I wonder how I want to handle that. I don't think I need to do it this way. It seems rather insanely overcomplicated to make a random number function, which then makes a hash function, which is its own handmade function to do this. Just seems insanely overcomplicated for what I want it to do. But right now, it does just look like a distortion effect. Like, sorry, it just looks like a spectrum analyzer effect, kinda. I don't know. It's still good, though. I'm still impressed with it. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 6 lines. It's 6 lines. Managed to do this in 6 lines. Well, actually, no. This is 7, and this is 10. 10 lines. And I got this. In 2 hours, I wrote 6 lines of code. Oh, God. Now let's see what else I can do to make this look a little bit better. Oh, I need to implement the Y resolution. Because in the original shader... Now let's compare it to the old one. Oh, it's already failing. See, my eyes are wobbling. Like, it's not very obvious, but actually if I zoom this in... Nope, wrong one. See, there's a faint wobble. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that. There's just a very faint wobbling going on. Okay. Let's try Y-res. Seems kind of faint. This is what I was talking about. This one works fine. I was looking at the... And I was referencing the wrong one. This one I need. Which is also messy. Amplify, that's what it was. We didn't need this. P4 frag color. I was doing a minus. Yep. The distortion is... times amplify. Okay. So it's still a little bit... if we do 1 here. That's still... this is almost identical to what I have, in a way. But I don't need the previous, so let's comment out the previous. Save. Reload. Yeah, it's still kind of deteriorating over time. Now here's a weird bit. Watch what happens if I turn on studio mode. It gets better a bit, I think. Either that or I've completely messed this up and I'm out of my tree. Yeah, I think I'm out of my tree. That's audio interference 2. More or less, yeah. Now, if we load up the original... yeah, and then put that to 15 like it was. And then it's not very... yeah, okay. So I really should be looking at audio interference 2. Because that's where I added the amplification. Okay. So if I compare this to... my rebuild... yeah. So this is really amplified. So I shouldn't look at this one, I should be looking at this one. Don't need the previous. I do need amplify. Okay. Don't need this FRES Y, I think. Where is this actually used? Actually, where was I using Y-Res in here? I think it's kind of vestigial. So here it's being used for this scan Y and R. Built-in elapsed time, but I don't really need that. I think this is what's causing it to go down over time. This built-in elapsed time function. Because this number would go up as time went on. Maybe it just gets too large? So I'll tell you, it didn't look like that before. Well, 10, 9, 8. Yeah, that looks pretty good. So that's 4 pixels, but because the picture is the picture's pushed like so small compared to its native resolution, you don't really notice that it's 4 pixels. It actually just looks like 1. Actually, I think there's even more visual information being lost than that. That's pretty good. But now the effect just seems a bit too much. So I think we need to implement amplify. So amplify is used in the color, and where else is it used? Oh, it's just being used in the color, not being used in the horizontal. Oh, okay. Don't get divide by 8. But let's try it. Let's try it. We'll divide it by 8. We'll divide all of this by 8. .0. And then we'll multiply by amplify. Is that how I had it in here? Oh yeah, I did. Six, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Hey, look at that. That looks pretty decent. Yeah, that's looking really good. It's just I need it to shuffle the other way as well. So how do I get it to shuffle the other way? Good stuff. Good stuff. I like it. So I bet you I can go... If I do 0, is it going to crash? Or is it going to let me? Roll A 0? No, it's just not going to do it. 0 point... Oh no, 0 just... It doesn't do anything. Just off. 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. I don't feel so good, Mr. Stock. Okay. 1. Okay, so... Now I do want it to go the opposite direction. So that's the next one. How do I want to do that? How do I want it to go the opposite direction? I think this is just a way to randomly shuffle it left or right by a certain amount. So if we look at the original one I made, well, now it's just not working. Nothing at all, hey? Even if I get real... Okay, it is. It is. It's just really faint. Now, I wonder if I look at the opposite side, if I get really close to the mic and get it loud. Yeah, now it's gotten very faint. Audio mix 2, audio mix 1, audio channel. Yeah, now it's just gotten really weak. Okay, we'll use 2. We'll amplify it. So it's not moving to the opposite side either, actually thinking about it. It seems to only be shuffling to the left. But I want it to shuffle to the right. Watch out for the sudden shock. Cut. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna add it here too, because it's nice. I'm gonna add the hold music here. I also want, I'll just hide me. Where am I? Don't want that. Okay, that's gone. Actually, you know what? Give me about 5 minutes. I gotta take a phone call real fast. Sorry. There we go. Thanks for being patient. Everybody get up, move around, get a bite to eat, or a snack. I should have done that, in hindsight. Maybe I'll get something delivered to the department. But take that opportunity now, before we get too lost in this. Let's see, what should I get? Shawarma. Let's see, what else have we got? I sneezed. You know, if you're gonna put calzones on your advertising, you better serve them. That just made me sad. What's something I can eat while I work? That'll do. There we go. Pardon the sniffles. All right, let's get back to it. Okay, so what do we need here? I think I'm starting to get an idea as to what this was doing. So, I think what this junk in the middle was doing, with this, and this, and this, was instead of this being directly proportional to like amplitude or volume of that particular frequency when it's making that spectrum chart. I think what it was doing was the higher that value at that point, the more random the location gets. I think that's what it was doing. And it's weird is it's still odd that it still deteriorates though. If I put this to 1, that's weird because it should be going the opposite direction if that was the case, but it's not doing that. So what was it actually accomplishing? If I do this in comparison to mine, actually, why am I doing this? We have the scratch area. Let's just put 2 images side by side. Let's add a picture. Okay. Okay, so there's that. Let's load in some pictures. Or just the same picture. We'll load it in twice. Let me find a good picture. I should have tons. How do I not have any? Oh, this one's good. Add image. Scratch. IMG. Scratch image 1. Downloads. There you go. All right, so that's left. We're gonna get an. We're gonna do a copy. We're gonna paste a duplicate. We're gonna apply the shader, each shader to one different shader to each of them. So this one's going to get the one that I made. Left is the one I made, right will be the one... Well, I made both, but the left is the rebuild, the right isn't. VS Code, audio interference, rebuild, reload the shader. Okay, so that's how it looks at the moment. It actually looks pretty close to what I had to begin with. So let's pull up the right one. That was Scratch Image 1, so now we're going to load up Scratch Image 2. Properties. In this case, we're going to add reload. So this is the both of them. So what's primarily different here, I wonder? Well, it's kind of obvious. You can kind of see it. It's a little more obvious here, but you can actually see on the left, on the rebuild, it is a... you can see the spectrum of the audio that's in, like, that's being fed in right now to OBS. It's not as obvious on the right-hand side. Now, can I pull up 2 filter properties at once? Because that would help immensely. No, I can't. Okay, so they're both set to the same parameters, are they? Filters. Divider 1, Y res 0, by 1. Okay. So it must be some type of threshold thing. But it's not really pulling audio to the left. Like if it was sorry, it's not pulling video or pixels to the right, I should say. I don't know why I said pulling audio to the left. The audio is not brain catch up, brain catch up, catch up. I could have sworn I saw in previous times I ran the shader that pixels were being pulled to the right. But what I'm seeing here, that's not the case. What I have made, though, is a very light abuse of the spectrum analyzer kind of feature that OBS Shader Filter Plus gives you, and I'm just shuffling pixels to the left, and I'm darkening the picture at that location. And I'm doing that for both. It's just the one on the right has a little bit of randomness to it. I think that's what's going on. So if I amplify them, let's amplify that to 2. Okay, so that's 0. So if I amplify to 2, or how about 3? So now if I'm speaking, both seem... Okay, so now both seem to be pretty at par with each other. Now if I look at scratch image 1 and 2, yeah, I kind of see I kind of see the difference now. Still, I don't know if it's a big enough deal to bother coding in the rest, but you see, it's a little more noisy and staticky for the one on the right-hand side, the one that I'm trying to get away from because it was crashing OBS. Do I feel it's actually necessary to work on, though? It seems like a lot of unnecessary code to me. And I don't know if anybody's going to really notice the difference that much. Well, let's poke at the filters some more then. Let's put it to 5. So now if we put it to... Actually, let's do this. Let's put them both to 15, so it's really dirty. Really dirty signal looking. So that's the first one. That's compared to the second one. We'll put it also to 15. So... I don't... I'm not really sure what to think of this. Like, the one on the right does look a little more staticky. The one on the left just looks a little... Yeah. Like, on the one on the left, you can practically see the music in the picture. Whereas the one on the right, it just looks like noise. So... do I... It's strange that it used the function time, though. I'm starting to get the feeling that it's the time function that's causing the problem here. Do I want to try implementing that another way? This is gonna be... I'm gonna be surprising myself with a giggle next time I come back into the scratch area. Okay. Like, as it stands, that's super lightweight, though. Alright, so let's see what it's doing. I just cannot remember what Y-res is supposed to be for. I don't really think I need it. Scan Y and R. So R is a random value. So that I figured out. So they are using a random value to give it a dirtier look. Like to make it not obvious that it's directly correlated to the audio. Actually, that's not true. Not to make it so it's more it's to make it not look like a spectrum, an audio spectrum in the interference. That's what I think it's meant for. But I wonder if there's a better way to do this. Let me think. Okay. I'm just doing a quick peek here. And it seems like the hash is used because hashing a random number gives a something visually equivalent to randomness. Like, you're not going to be able to see the pattern in a hashed value, so that's why they're hashing the current time. But I'm curious if that's the best way to go about it, because I've got a stinking hunch it's that elapsed time that's the problem. Brightness. Okay, so let's see. That's what the hash was for. But I'm wondering if I can maybe hash by something else. Not wrong. Wrong tab. Shader. Actually, let me just search here. Let's see, can we make a random number inside a pixel shader? Maximize the settings and confirm what we have. Okay. Made a pseudo randomness more stable. Texture to generate noise is usually over-engineered. Right. Let's see this bad one. A classic random function, snoise3. I want to see an example of snoise3. Nope. I want an example of what it looks like. Because if it looks jank, that works great. Just the actual problem with this is that the one on the left, which is the one is the re-implementation, looks too clean and normal. Like, you can directly correlate the exact, like you can directly correlate audio, like on the spectrum here that's I kind of put on the left doing the pixel shifting, with the pixels being shifted, whereas here it is slightly randomized. But I did get the darkening part, I did get the darkening part properly. Let's see. So snoise3, they say it's a one-liner, huh? Classic random function called snoise is fract sin.p vec2 times. Let's try this. Assign dot. But what is this in? Can I just plunk that in? Is it going to blow up? Because if I can use that and multiply. Oh, if that gives a negative. If that gives a negative, then what I can do is I can multiply the distort. Yeah, let's try that. Okay, so those are normal. So what is a fract? Let's see, is that an HLSL thing? No, that's OpenGL, so GLSL should have it, I just don't know better. Is there a manual in here? Random. But what is fract? Is it a... GLSL fract. A fractal? Fract. Compute the fractional part of the argument. Floor round. Oh, sorry, I forgot I'm in the wrong scene. Sorry about that. Let's see. Ba-ba-da-ba. Fact sign dot. So does that just return me? I wonder if that just returns me a float. I think it does. Float. frand equals. Well, let's see if the shader blows up. I'll use my face as the example again. It didn't blow up. Oh, I'm in the wrong one. That's why. Audio interference rebuild. Yep. Undefined variable P. So what was... Oh, right. Doesn't say what P is in this example. UV. Try that. Hey. Okay, so that ran. That's running. So now let's go distort X. Times frand. Save. Reload. That's you know, that's not bad. It's not bad. Wasn't exactly what I'm looking for though. So let's compare that back to the scratch here. So we'll put this on, okay, so this one. Filters. No, wrong one. We'll reload the shader. So that's what it's looking like now. So it's noisy, but I don't know if it's noisy in the same way I want. I don't know. But it does make speckly. It does make specklies, which is neat. Specklies. Well, at least it's not as obvious now that it's not as obvious now that it's due to noise. Like, you can't pick out tiny frequencies in here. I don't think. Let's see. Well, let's wait for the square wave. Might be a while. it is still pretty obvious. Huh. That was a neat thing to try. Okay, well, how's it looking on... It looks pretty decent on me, I think. Yeah, you know, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Now for the final test, though. Let's put it on the cat clock. Damn it, cat. All right. Moment of truth. That looks kind of rough. I don't think I like it. I don't think I like this. It's not terrible, I don't think. But what happens if I put this to 1-1. How's that turn out? How's that? Any better? Any worse? I don't know. Oh wait, no, what did that say? Unable to find compatible overload. Oh, 1.0. 1.0. Float. Alright, fine. Vec 2. How's that looking? Like, that's... okay, so this is back to where we were, I think. So I put this divider to 15. That's what I had. Amplify, I had that on 3. And Y-res was on 100. Yeah, now it just looks really messy. And this is the problem, is over time it deteriorates into this. I'm not exactly certain why it deteriorates into this. Okay, so that's the old shader back. I wonder if I can try something else. That was a neat experiment. Actually, let me demonstrate something else here. I'm gonna put this on studio mode. So you're gonna notice the exact same shader is just being reloaded, and the behavior is now completely different. And that's part of the problem. We've been going for 3 hours now. So this is it. This is it now. That's the new, and then we're gonna switch back. And then suddenly, it's this. And then in 3 more hours, it'll crash OBS. So I really think it's... Actually, I think it's that random number function more than... The more I look at this. Now I just gotta find a way to reproduce this effect. This pretty decent effect. Here in the scratch. So... okay. Let's poke at this some more. So if I go to oh no. If I go to filters, let's put it to 15. That's what it looks like, where every one of these is 15 pixels. Okay, let's put it to 5. Now let's put that... Let's put that weird, function back. UV. Oh, excuse me, I got another phone call coming in. Right, thanks for waiting. So, I was poking around, and there is some other generators as well. And I just tried another one, seeing if it's any better. I'm not too terribly interested in static as much as I'm interested in the shifting. That's kind of the drawback to it. It seems like all the others I'm trying incorporate some form of static. Don't really want that. I don't know what to think at this point. Like, we made some great progress. We've cut a lot of the fat out of it. Yes, it doesn't exactly look like the other shader, and the more I poke at this, the worse it gets. But I'm fairly confident that if I were to use this, the stability problem would go away. Let's switch back to me. This is me using the shader right now. I mean, I'm also debating well, not debating. I'm considering not using the shader on the gameplay footage. One of the things I really liked was I could have it at the top and it just gave a faint it gave a faint shake to make it look like I had been, playing on, like, pulling the video up from somewhere else. I don't think I want to... I don't think I really want to do that anymore. Alright, so let's check this filter now. Oh. XV. Where's XV? Oh, undefined variable XY. Oh, sorry, that's UV. Well, that might explain why there wasn't a notable difference. How's this looking? That doesn't look so good. Go back to scratch. Pull up the shader there. Give it a reload. What is that actually doing? Oh, okay, that's not... yuck. Okay, so what this one was called the golden ratio random number generator, but it's obvious that it's doing something involving the golden ratio spiral. Which, yeah. So it needs a seed, apparently. So what's the seed that's talking about here? Times seed. So what should the seed be? Can we make it uv.y? Because that's a float. What does it look like now? Not a lot's changed. So I shouldn't make it something linear like that. What could act as a seed? Can't be a frame number, because that would just... Eventually, I would just overflow. Can't do time. How about... One of the functions in here, one of the values in here, I think was time since last frame. So it says here, elapsed time previous. The elapsed time in the previous frame. The time since the source this filter is applied to is shown. Let's try this one. Oh, yuck. Yeah, it's kind of yucky. Don't think I like that very much. I mean, it's a cool effect, but it's not what I want. Ooh, I know. I know what to do. We'll use the audio as the seed. Control X. No, not there. V4 distort dot X. That just completely reversed everything we accomplished, I think. We'll put the divider back to 1? Yeah, so now they're looking both the same. But god damn it. Okay, so that didn't really achieve much. What if I do negative V4 distort? I just made everything amplified quite a bit. Yeah, that doesn't look so good. Not quite the effect I was looking for. Okay. So that's not a good one. Let's go back to the scene here. We'll double check what's going on. Okay, F-res-Y. Where's F-res-Y defined? F-res-Y equals built-in UV size.y. Okay. Float scan y equals rounding of uv.y times the resolution. Float r, so the random equals random, and then this is all random number generation. If random is more than 0.995, multiply it by 3. Okay. Then we're shuffling built-in UV size x times r. Okay. So they're making a static one based on the size of the actual image that's being modified. I don't think I want this. This just doesn't look very nice. Or maybe it does. I don't know. I don't know. Is it good? Is it better? I mean, it looks okay here, but maybe this is something where I should take a break, have my meal. This is good. Like we achieved the basics. We got it stripped down a lot. And we also put some documentation in to understand what it is some of this is trying to accomplish. Okay. So that's an old school random number generator function. We're not using this anymore. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is 7, 8, 9. We don't need Y-res. We're not using Y-res. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's 10 lines. 3 hours for 10 lines. Well, frankly, most of it is just trying to figure out what exactly it is I wanted. So that's been a little bit difficult. But, I mean, it does the job. It does the job. Like, let's pull up this one and compare them. As it stands here, I mean, it doesn't look bad. In comparison to this one. And well, yeah, we'll let those go. I'm also gonna do this. There's a quick 5-second recording showing both shaders side by side. Then we can see which is the better image. Like, I can see later and kind of come back to it. But, you know, I think we achieved what we wanted to here today. I rebuilt the shader. I'll give it a test here. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Yep, well, I'm quite pleased with what we accomplished here today, considering I'm stepping into this blind, revisiting code I haven't touched in months. Yep, I'm pleased with it. Well, there's not really a lot of winding down or chatting to do, so I think I'll just give my regular sign-off. I'm not going to tell you what to do, so I'm not going to tell you to stay out of trouble. All I ask is that if you do get in trouble, you make sure it's the good kind of trouble. And you all stay safe out there, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye for now.